Greetings. This is Skyler Saunders Sing. Just had to do a little bit of wardrobe update. What's current? Today, I want to just make some observations about mostly Christians, mostly people who are mystified, who claim that Jesus was on the cross, died, and resurrected, and went into a fantasy place called heaven. Now, these people are not totally evil. Mysticism is evil, but what Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and any other form of mysticism is, they're detrimental to mental health. What Ayn Rand called a bad sign psychologically, because a man can't stand on his own rational thought. He has to use some outside force or being or thought to continue with his life. That's the sad part. And I'm at church. I go to church almost every Sunday. If I'm not, I'm streaming it because I got to keep up with what's going on with the various Christians, especially. That's the ones I mingle with mostly. And I'm an atheist, and I'm outnumbered. All atheists are outnumbered. And if you're an objectivist, you're even more outnumbered. There's even fewer objectivists in the world than there are atheists, because not every atheist is not an objectivist, but every objectivist is an atheist. Pay attention. I'm going to say that again. Every atheist is not an objectivist, but every objectivist is an atheist. Facts. So you have to be very careful. It's easy to be cynical and sarcastic and look down upon people and say, "Oh, they believe in God. They must be idiots. They must be stupid. They don't have a clue." Well, there's got to be some kind of issue with that, because it's really not the belief in God. It's just a understanding that maybe people have known their whole lives, or swam towards the ideas of Christianity and other faiths later on in life. Either way, it's very interesting. It's interesting to see this, with people with their arms, hands in the air like that, outstretched, for the Father. And they're very serious. They're not playing. They really believe this stuff. I did for 16 years. From the time I was 3 years old and I could understand what, the Lord's Prayer was, to the point I was 19 years old. I finally shrugged. I took off that mantle of the idea of a God existing, because that's a contradiction in terms. You can't have a God exist. There's no such thing as an existing God. Now you can use metaphors for God, like Big Elvis the Chef. He uses algorithm as the new God. That's the new God. Plastic used to be the God, at one point. Microchips were the God at one point, but now it's algorithms. But I just am, amazed at the fact that so many people have to regard their ideas and be serious about it. They're waving their hands and they're praying. They're actually praying. This is the irony of all ironies. People who say that, if you talk to yourself, you're crazy. But people talk to themselves all the time. There's about 5% of people who are atheists and probably, either talk to themselves or don't talk to themselves. But they're talking to themselves. They're not talking to any deity or anything like that, or alleged deity. But 95% supposedly bow down, get on their knees. I saw it this morning. The minister at this church that I go to, he got on his knees, both knees, like in complete submission. It reminded me of what the Muslims do. They get on both their knees and they bow all the way down. Looks like they're trying to duck from a incoming rocket or missile, because most of the places that have Islam as the primary religion have those kind of attacks. Sorry to laugh there, but it's crazy. Like they said, it's they say jokes. I'll just say a joke. A quick joke. About the Islam being a faith of peace. Yeah, it's a piece of you over here, a piece of you over there. That's a joke. Boom, boom. But seriously, people take these. That's exactly the reason with Islam. They take it very seriously. The minister, the pastor of this church that I go to, he wears, a relaxed shirt, just a collar, not tucked in, some slacks and some sneakers. And he gets on stage and he tells them, there's ultimate people that have, in the faith that wear complete suits and under robes, and then that's how they address their flock. There are people that wear, straight black and white, mainly the Mennonites and the Amish, because buckles or anything like that or buttons are too extravagant, and you have to humble yourself. You have to, take away all elements of pride. It's very interesting to me, and I'm at the service and I'm just looking around, especially when they say the prayer. I look around the people there are some people that have their eyes open. That gets me. I'm like, okay, you have your eyes open. Are you open your eyes because you don't believe, or you're trying not to believe, or you're on the cusp of not believing? What is it there? What is going on there? That's something I always wondered about. And so, the message, he's a great teacher. And I love how the service is streamlined. They're part of ARC. I don't know what it's exactly stand for, but it's a consortium of churches that basically have the same idea of a structure that is very refined and very rigid and very clear every Sunday. They start with praise and worship, then they go into a few announcements on, not what's going on in the community or anything like that. They could care less. They want to know what's going on at the church, and then you have people, either the pastor of the church or one of the co-pastors. They deliver a message, and that's it. After the message is done, it's over. That's the whole church. I'm used to, Baptist church. Oh goodness, they got, welcome members, who you are, where you come from, and they got announcements, what grades the kids had in school, what, who went to college, and it's a whole rigmarole. They go, from what I understand, I don't know if they still do this, but when I was coming up, back in my day, they had a whole, slew of different ideas, and they had the choir perform at least 2 or 3 times. There's only one praise and worship team, and that's it. They get you out of there. Boom, bang, bang. Minister, go, and then you're off. You're gone. And this is at 9 o'clock in the morning, so you pretty much have your whole Sunday. Not so much when I was coming up in the Baptist church. Sometimes we'll have 2 services. You won't get out till 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, I'm just paying attention to what is going on with this whole faith thing, because it's like coming in from the rain, and you're just looking at it's still raining. It hasn't stopped yet. I was out in the rain. I got wet. I got soaked almost. But I'm looking at the rain from the inside, and I'm looking at it still, and I'm thinking, I was in the rain. I was in the downpour. I was in the, I was in that. Now I'm drying off. I'm going to put on new clothes and everything. And it's okay, but I'm going to probably have to go back outside, and it may rain again. But I'm going to be protected with this umbrella called rationality. I'm going to be protected by this overcoat called reason. That's going to be the defining moment for me. That's going to be the issue that I'm going to most put my life on. Because I'm looking at them. I just look out to the crowd. Yes, Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. And they mean it. That's why I can't dog or down anybody, especially since I was in the rain. I'm in from it. I'm drying off. I've pretty much dried off. It's been 16 years. Believe that. Since I said I'm an atheist, and I've stood on it. There was one point. This is part of my bipolar disorder, where I was in a point where I was going to go back into Christianity, but reason said, "Oh no, oh no, no, no! You have to think before you do that. Think twice," as an Ayn Rand play would say. Think twice. And so I did. I thought twice. I said, I can't go back. Can't go back. But I'm looking at people, even my own family members, of course, African American, FBA, Foundational Black American, whatever you want to say. They're part of the Jesus train. They're all about Jesus. I respect it. I don't like it, but I respect it. And like I'm sure they do with me. They don't like the fact that I'm an atheist, but they have to respect it because it's the truth. It's a fact. It's something I can't take back. It's something I have to look forward to and be with my life. So, back to church, it was a good sermon. He's a teacher. If I may say something as an atheist, the pastor is a hell of a teacher. He's a hell of a teacher. I could understand what he was saying about the Bible. He was doing, he was doing the theatrics of a minister, getting the crowd riled up at certain points. But he told the story of David and Ahab, and the differences between the kings, and how Ahab was one of the worst kings in all of Israeli history. But David, of course, is probably one of the best. There's a contrast there. But I'm listening to the sermon, and I'm listening to the messages. I'm just thinking, this is going on all over this country and all over the world, in one form or fashion, especially Christianity, because like George Carlin says, God, not God himself or herself or whatever self, itself, has the Muslims on Friday, the Jews on Saturday, and the Christians on Sunday. He has a 3-day weekend. That's pretty good, right? That's a pretty good deal. He said it better than I. But I'm just amazed. I am totally and completely amazed at the fact that so many people don't understand and don't want to subscribe to atheism. It's the ultimate irony. People don't believe, people don't believe that you can live your life in total understanding of self and understanding of truth and facts and reality. But they'll be sure and quick to say, "Oh, my Jesus, he healed my back, and whenever I was lost, he found me." And all these scriptures and different. That's the thing that caught me too. The different names. There's very few Ahabs. I've noticed there's very few Ahabs, even though he was a king. There may not have been. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm gonna see Ahab. He was the seventh king of Israel, and not too many people are named Ahab. He was married to Jezebel. And this is what I'm trying to do layers. I'm gonna do layers, okay? First of all, how many Ahabs do you know? How many Ahabs are there? It means his name means father's brother, Ahab. But then you look at probably one of the most famous kings of all, King David, also meaning beloved one. He was the king of the United Kingdom of Israel. I didn't even know there was a UK of I. I just knew there was a United Kingdom and then there was an Israel. Okay, there was a United Kingdom of Israel. I just learned that. Thank you, Wikipedia. But I just am surprised, and well, not surprised, and I'm not really shocked either. And at the understanding that is brought into this, there's layers. There's over 6,000 years of understanding, because people still believe that the Earth started 6,000 years ago, not 4.5 billion years ago, which is the fact, the scientific fact. And people like to say that as well. They use, oh, well, that's just science. Well, that's different. Jesus' death on the cross and resurrection was not science. Of course it wasn't science. There's no science involved. That's why it didn't happen. Neither did all the other mystical ideals did. But that's what interests me the most. What parts of the Bible are historical and what parts of it are just complete mysticism? Because there has to be a level of where there is a sense that there is truth in what is being told. But then you have to have leaps of faith that are combined in the idea. And that's why I don't down people, because I'm still learning. I'm trying to get to a point where I can read the Bible, all of its parts. I don't know if you're supposed to read from cover to cover. I think they recommend you not to do that, but to go through chapters and go through the different books and different phases. So what is so important to me is the fact that there are so many people that would take the time to be on the side of Christ. It's amazing. And it's also amazing how there are a few English-speaking people or other countries. I don't know completely about other countries. I don't know about English people and speaking people in America that don't name their son Jesus. Latin America, Latinos, Hispanics name their children Jesus, their son Jesus. That's a fact. That's interesting to me. Why is that? And they're some of the most, faith-based people in the planet. Usually they're part of the Catholic Church. That's not necessarily the case all the time, but most of the time it is. And they're dedicated to something that's outside of reality, and they put it on their child. They name their son Jesus or Jesus. Like, why aren't more English-speaking people, FBA or white people or brown, or black, or yellow people, red people in America? Why don't they name their children Jesus? What is up with that? What's going on there? Something's different there. Something's weird. Something's a little off. But anyway, back to the service. From what I understand, it was about Ahab and David's distinction between the two kings. How one king, overcame more of the issues than the other. And I mean, that was David over Ahab instead of David and Goliath, which is a famous tale. He spoke about that as well, but he mainly talked about David and Ahab. And it just goes to show you how people, just eat this stuff up. And I can't blame them. I really can't blame them. I can't chastise them. I can't mock them. I can't show derision towards them. I was there too. And I seriously thought about it. I prayed. I fasted. I did all the things that you're supposed to do as a good Christian young black boy. Until I said, you know what? It was a full year for me being an official adult. I think I turned into an adult when I was like 14, 15. I was probably an adult by then. I pretty much knew my course in life, what I wanted to be, who I wanted to be, who I am. So I was probably that. But officially, when I was 18, it just took me a year. Say, you know what? I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I can't live this life that is put on upon me. Because that's the thing. It's like they get surprised. Like, you weren't introduced to this when you were an infant. You're introduced to these ideas as an infant. And then by the time you're a teenager, it's like, oh, well, it's just teenage rebellion. They're just trying to go against whatever. Rebellion against what? Something I knew from childbirth, basically? I didn't have a choice. If you said, okay, look, you can be a Christian or you can be an atheist. What do you want to be when you're 3 or 4 years old? And if you say, if you give them enough information on what both are, maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6, 5 or 6. I'll give them a little bit more leeway. 5 or 6. You say, okay, this is what atheism is. This is what faith is. That covers everybody. Faith, they're not going to say mysticism, but that's what it is. Faith. You want to be in faith or do you want to be in atheism? What do you want to do? Choose wisely. And especially, taking in a few more years, 13, 14, do you want to be an objectivist or continuing in or be in mysticism? That's what I think is proper. The question, because I'm sure there are many objectivists that have had children, and they say, you know what, I want to be a Christian. So that's their form of teenage rebellion. Instead of having, both parents are objectivists, and they raise a child, and they go into maturity, and they admit to it that they want to be Christians or faith-based. I want to be a Jew. I want to be a Muslim. I want to be a Christian. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I mean. That's the weird part about this whole idea. That's what's so strange about this whole thing. We know for a fact, it's especially Monday through Friday for Christians. Monday through Friday, especially if you have a 9-to-5 regular traditional job, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and you're like, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. I'm gonna get through this week. And if they try me, I'm gonna cuss them out, but I know I can say, please, Lord, forgive me for my terrible acts, and then I'll be absolved and I'll be ready. Or if you're a Catholic, you go to the priest and you say, I have this issue with my coworker, and I don't want to see her anymore. I don't want to know her name. I don't want to deal with her. Please help me out with this. And then he'll pray over you or whatever the case may be. And speaking of Catholic priests, they're into little boys. It's like the weirdest magic or like mathematics. Like it's so weird. It's like 1 + 1 + 1 + 6 is 9, or but -9. Like, I don't know how the math goes, but it's like, you don't give me a wife. I don't have a wife. I'm not allowed to masturbate. I can't look at pornography, gay or otherwise. And I have these little altar boys. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. They're vulnerable. They haven't done much in the world. They haven't seen anything. They look pretty tender. And you think, like, what? Like, but that's happened to millions, not hundreds, thousands, millions of young men have been violated by these vicious predators because of the fact of their faith, because of the way their faith is structured. That's disgusting. And it goes to any other faith too. Muslims rape little boys. Jews, I'm sure, have some sector where they have raped little boys at least once or twice somewhere. But the Catholics are like the leading charge of touching and molesting little children, young boys especially. Maybe a few young girls, but mostly little boys. Because that's the math. No wife, can't masturbate, can't look at porn, can't have sex, with anyone else, can't have sex, period. altar boys. Like, that's a sick sadness that goes on within these ranks of faith. That's the sadness that is so enveloped in the idea of being in faith. And people, all they do is they make up excuses. They say one thing is true, they say one thing is not. They say, they try to reach for ideas. They say, oh, well, that's just them. There are some of the priests that are touching little boys. Some of them. But they all wear the same cloth. Even if you haven't touched a little boy, you're by extension. I know I'm not saying by, you should go to jail with them, or you should be tried or brought upon litigation against you. But you're in the cloth. Any priest. Ministers, there's Baptist ministers that touch little boys, touch little girls. Black Baptist churches want to keep that quiet, keep that sound. Shh, don't talk about that. Now, I've never been violated by anyone, ever. But the problem is that people that do get violated, they still worship the Lord, Jesus of Nazareth. They still find it in God. They say, they're the problem, usually. And they, resort to drugs and alcohol sometimes. They resort to, self-punishment. They have trouble stabilizing marriages. They have trouble stabilizing the lives of their children. And it's very sad. Because it didn't have to be. But that's faith. That's mysticism. That's just an aspect of it. That's just the facts and the reality of it. How someone could still be a Catholic is beyond me. For that reason. How could someone could still be a Baptist is beyond me. And all the others, Methodist, Presbyterian, Episcopalian, Protestant, all the different Protestants, the Church of God in Christ, take your pick, whatever you want to say. What are they? The Seventh-day Adventists, Mormons, it just goes on and on and on and on. They still worship the same quote unquote God, and there is no God. But we keep telling ourselves, I say we, because you have to say, we keep telling ourselves that there has to be something out there. There has to be something to hold on to grasp. And that's the irony of all ironies. That most of the people of all time of the planet have subscribed to something that isn't there, that doesn't exist. The irony of that. You would expect most people to say, I only understand reality. I only understand what's going on in my life and truth. I don't have any other ideas worth exploring outside of reality. Give me that. Give me that only. Only. Mysticism is evil. Faith is evil, but having faith is not evil. It's a bad sign psychologically, as Miss Rand said. It's a detriment to your mental health. And that's the bottom of that. Okay. Got to talk about it. It's up here. It's in the chat. Ruler of the kingdom of the air. Now, it's a special day. Sunday that I talk about ruler of the kingdom of the air. Because once you read this story, you will understand better what it means to be a human being and what it means to go on a quest, to search for identity. That's what it means. That's what this story is all about. It's about dignity. It's about pride. It's about knowledge. It's about knowing who you are in this world and what your worth is. That's all about understanding what you can do and what you have done to perfect yourself, to self-improvement. That's what this story purports. Doing something, exacting something that other people would be afraid to or shy away from doing. That's something that is so crucial. Somebody's in the live chat. Somebody just gave me a like. Who are you? Somebody present yourself in the live chat, please. I have one person with one like. I've been talking for the past 31 minutes. If you just came in, welcome. The coffee is hot. Find a seat. Relax. I'm just talking that ish. Fuck it. I'm talking that shit. So I dropped an F-bomb and an S-bomb. Ooh. Keith! All day with the 777. I don't know what the 777 means. You hit the lotto? What happened? What does the 777 mean? The 77 I don't know what 777 means, sir. You have to explain that to me. Oh, luck. Okay. Luck for what? I don't know what you're saying. You gotta explain yourself a little bit. You gotta give some context, give some background. I respect you, sir. Like I said, if you don't have any money, go to somebody who has money. Let them know about the show, but don't let their friend know about the show. Their other friend. If you're friends with somebody, let them know about the show. Let them be able to give money. Because I need to have money for the show to continue. And that's, hey, I'm going to just bring it back. Let me bring it back because it's my show. About faith. Okay. About faith. Everybody needs money. It doesn't matter who you are and what you are about. If you are on this planet and you choose to live on the grid and you choose to have some positioning in a civilized society, then you need money. God, again, the late great George Carlin, he said, he's all knowing, he's all powerful, he's all seeing, just can't handle money. What are you going to do? It's true. It's a fact. He can't handle money. That's God. Well, we're going to show our giving and our tithing. Well, I don't like to say I pay it. I like to say I gift it or something. I give it to some way. They are saying it. The co-pastor was saying that. It's she, by the way. She, a female pastor, by the way. She's not the head pastor. I'm waiting for there are churches somewhere around this globe where there's a female head pastor, but not this one, not the one that I go to. But that's okay too. But if hold on, Keith is okay. So I would like to know all the ways that everybody, everything that even if you're off the grid, because you can't technically be off the grid. You're on somebody else's property somewhere, unless you're in a satellite floating around the globe in a self-contained ecosystem. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's happened yet. I don't think anybody's doing that. Not that I know of. I haven't checked SpaceX or Virgin Air or Blue Origin yet. But what about that? Tell me, how do you function without money? How does any institution function without money? Everything needs money. It's blood. Money is blood. Money is oil. Money is what keeps everything running, keeps it well positioned and in order, fuels things, keeps things going. That's what money does. Money is the main source for that. They say money makes the world go round. Well, that cliche, is a cliche for a reason. It's true. You can't do anything in a civilized society without money. Even the lowest people, the people you see on the side of the highway with the cardboard, God bless, anything helps. I don't even see will work for food anymore. I don't see that. I hardly see that. They don't want to work. They don't want to put in any effort or any time. They just want your dime. I put in effort. I put in time for this. I gotta make sure the setup is ready. The lights are on. The camera's up on my phone. Not on my phone. On the screen. I'm not begging. Okay, gotcha, Keith. But what is the luck for? You didn't answer my question. Well, let me ask you this question, Keith. Let me ask you, answer the first question. What is luck? And then I'll get to your response. I'll get to your reply that you just sent. But like I said, let a friend know because I need the money. I'm not going to joke about it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. The target is $80. Target for today is $80. And I know because there are people that have targets of $650 that I know of. I'm not there yet, but I'm closing in. I'm trying to get to $1,000 a day. Tax free. Tax free, okay? You get a Cashapp personal account, you ain't gotta pay for that. You ain't gotta pay for taxes. That's all you. That's everything. As long as you have a standard setup and it goes to your bank account and gives you all your money. And even if you don't have a standard, they take it out, but that's not a tax. That's just one of their fees for having it instantly put into your account. And they just take off a few cents or a few dollars. But I'm trying to, stay on my topic with Ruler, but that got me going, with the faith thing, thinking about faith and how, this ties into it. The story ties into a lot of faith ideas and mysticism and mystical ideas and about myths. It's all about the myths. It's about the myths of a certain ruler of the kingdom of the air. If you find that, also the Lord of the Flies, also the Prince of Darkness. Am I going too far? Am I saying too much? Let me shut up. This is very interesting. Now I have two people in there. I know Keith is in here, but who else is in here? All right, so he hasn't responded in a while, but he said this. This is what Keith said. Money can sometimes be considered the root of all evil. Money is always considered the root of all evil, according to Christians and Jews, I think, as well. But especially in that Bible, I think mainly Christians. I think it was said by Jesus who said, money is the root of all evil. But the love, that's the thing. That's also key. The love of money is the root of all evil. But one question I have for you, what is the root of all money? What is the root of all money? As Ayn Rand asked in her seminal, monumental work, Atlas Shrugged. I'm not going to tell you what character said it or when they said it or anything like that. But just asking you, what is the root of all money? And also, for the love of money, well, to love means to value. So you must value money in a sense. You have to love it in a sense because you value it. You think it's something of uh, a great way of exchange. Before it's exchanged, it has to be saved. It has to be produced. Right? Maybe I just gave away the answer. That's it. Production. The root of all money is production. The mind, thinking, creating, building, making. That's all it is. That's what money has to be. It's about the spirit. See, that's the thing. People say, "Oh, well, spirit is about God and Jesus." No, spirit is your mind. Matter is your brain. Spirit needs matter. Matter needs spirit. Especially if you're an adult or a young child. If you're a baby, obviously you need the support of your people that take care of you. That's obvious. But once you hit to a point, maybe 7 years old, your mind needs your brain, and your brain needs your mind. Your spirit needs matter, and your matter needs spirit. And that's why we say it's so weird. We say, "Oh, hip hop is about materialism. It's all about materialism. It's just they just want to talk about cars and getting money and houses and jewelry and stuff like that." Well, where did all the cars and jewelry and houses come from? Did they just magically appear? They just come out of nowhere? They just came out of a vacuum? What happened? Please tell me what happened. I'll wait. I'll wait. Okay, Keith says this. True, Skyler, but money is also a means for survival. We need money to sustain our daily lives. We need money to survive. That's all I've been saying this whole time. I said that from the beginning. There's nothing that I disagree with you about. I didn't say anything against that. I said money is blood. Money is oil. Money is what is the cliche, what makes the world go round. Because that's a fact. Without money, you need to have some kind of barter system. And even that, is still based on trade, but it's insufficient. If you have 2 cows and you want to try to get 40 chickens, you try to exchange them. It's a different way of exchanging different animals. It's a weird way of doing it. So they had to say, look, we're going to use, shells. We're going to use bananas. We're going to use rocks and things like that for, in order to show what it means to be fully in agreement with what they are. It's agreement. It's a trade. I trade you these pieces of silver for those pigs. And then, I get the pigs, you get the silver, you can get the silver, you can trade it with other people. You can't do that with chicken. You can't say, "Well, I have a chicken and I'm bringing it to the market." And can't work like that. So money is a beautiful way of keeping people civilized. And producers, everybody wins. It's a win-win-win-win-win situation. Everybody wins. Everybody does. So that goes into my idea about ruler of the kingdom of the air, because the main character lives in Wilmington, Delaware, and has an idea about being in. Oh my God, Skyler, what are your thoughts? Okay, Keith, you asked a question, and this is my house rule. You put if you want a question, You got to put at least $5 on it. At least $5 on a question. I can't answer that question. Sorry. I'm not, this is not a cop out. If you put up $5, I'll answer it happily. I'll answer it in completion. But yeah, Roger, exactly. Exactly. I'm telling you, I'm saying but hey, put $5 up and I got you. I'll answer it really quick. I have an answer for you. But this goes into Rule of the Kingdom of the Air. Because he has to have a way of communicating with his wife, the main character, Green Stockwell. He has to have a way of communicating with all the people that are around him and what they mean to him. He has to have that whole issue knocked out in time. He has to have that whole issue of having money. May I ask again, who else is in this room that's quiet and shy? Keith has been asking all the questions. Make sure you tune to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube, by the way. Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Check out that channel. Great songs, great vibe, great everything. It's great. So make sure you check out Spirit Smooth Tunes. Okay. Whoever in here, I know Keith is in here, but there's somebody else in here that I guess YouTube may be messing with me again. Could be one person, but it shows two. It shows two people in here. But that's fine. If you want to hide, you don't want to talk, that's fine. Just be part of my count, at the end of this broadcast. But I just think it's so amazing how the myths, the Christian mythology is so rich. It is completely rich. It is almost as rich as the Greek mythology. Greeks and Romans cornered the market on the term mythology. But people believed this stuff. They thought it was real. The goddess Victoria and Roman and Greek Nike of victory, of winning, people actually used to pray to her for them to win races. Because they were, of course, the founders of the Olympics in Greece. And so they would pray to her so that they would win the races. Again, I see a question mark. You're going to have to say Roger again because it's not getting answered. Okay, now you're just putting up different. Okay, Thor, what comes before Wednesday? No, what comes after Wednesday and before Friday? Let me ask you questions. This is my show. I get to do that. Let me ask you questions, Keith. What comes before Friday and after Wednesday? Exactly. Thursday. Thursday is Thor's Day. Wednesday is another god. Monday is Moon, the moon god. Sunday today is the sun god. Saturday was Saturn's day. Saturn, the god of I don't even know who he's the god of right now, but let me look it up real quick. Let me drop some knowledge. Let me drop some knowledge on it. Saturn was a god of ancient Roman religion. Remember that. The Romans are of the different planets. And a character in Roman mythology. He was described as a god of time, generation, dissolution, abundance, wealth, agriculture, periodic renewal, and liberation. So that was, like I said, the Romans and the Greeks cornered the market. And after a time, they stopped, believing in them. And of course, there's 8 billion people in the world. A few million people probably still believe that, the different gods and goddesses and reflect that. And they're not part of the, the Christian mythology or even the Islamic mythology or the Judaic mythology. But that's all they were. They lost their power because we started naming stuff after them. Weeks, days of the week, months. January, Janus, the god with the two heads in the opener, standing at the door, the entrance. That's what January is. That's what janitor is. That's where you get those words and names. And people just don't. They just okay, January. Okay, janitor. They don't realize that these are actual gods that people worshipped and people laid down their lives and sacrificed for, and at one moment or another, and didn't even realize that one day they'll be used to sell sneakers. In the case of Nike. If you say so, Keith, because I don't have full knowledge on the height of the Roman Empire, but if you want to talk about that, that's fine. But I'm just trying to keep it within the context of the kingdom of the ruler of the kingdom of the air. It's all about mythology. If I have to, and I can't be more specific than that because it'll give away the story. I mean, I could spoil it, but I'm not at that point where I can spoil it yet. I want to get to that point. But it's about mythology. That's all we had. Yes, that's true. Rome had conquered certain parts of Greece. Absolutely. That's the reason why they had control over the Greek gods. Instead of having, let me see. One moment. Let me check on something. I'm still looking. I'm still researching. That's why you have Greek Poseidon and Roman Neptune. See, the Romans took over and they said, "Your gods, what are your gods? You don't have gods. We have gods." And they just gangstered their way over the Greeks. People would say because the Greeks were the thinkers and Romans were the fighters. Even though there were Greeks, of course, that fought, but they say it was like force, fighting over intelligence or thinking. It's that brute force. It's like taking out JFK and MLK and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and RFK. These men, even though I disagree with their ideals, they were all taken out, or some of their ideals, but they were all taken out by force. Didn't mean that they were, on a level of, complete righteousness, but they had some sense of intellectuality. They had some sense of being intellectuals. All of them, in certain degree. And to take out their lives in brute force and ugly, disgusting force is tantamount to being cowards, because violence and brute initiation of physical force is puny and weak and insignificant. It really is. It's not even an issue. It's not even an issue to consider more than 2 seconds, because the mind thinking is what we get. The mind is what we have to do anything. I just said that. I just said Greece was conquered by Rome. I just said that. The Romans were the fighters and Greeks were the thinkers. Just like in the names I said from the that were killed in the 60s. So I think it's more, to the point of the fact that people aren't, willing to give up what they've known for maybe 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. Something that they were introduced, and then it just becomes, Oh my God, I can't believe this can't believe this is you can't be atheist. But that's what we are. And that's what it, ruler of the kingdom of the air explores. It explores those notions of belief. It explores those notions of what is true and what is not true. It explores the notions of what happens when you have something extraordinary happen and you have to deal with it. You have to understand it. You have to search and be on a quest for it. And it becomes an adventure. I'm giving a lot away now. I'm giving away the story. It's on vocal.media, vocal.media. You just search ruler of the kingdom of the air. And maybe my name, SkylerSaunders. Hey, Angie, you're the one that was here. Hey, girl. I might stay on for a little bit longer now, knowing that Angie's around. Yeah, okay. Making sure you speak. I understand. Okay, so okay, like I said, the target is $80. Angie, Keith don't have that kind of money. He don't have anything close to that kind of money. If you have $5 or $10, I would appreciate it. If you're on Keith's level, I appreciate it as well. You're still a day one supporter. I definitely agree with the fact that you stop by to listen to hear me rant. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you for responding and saying, okay, I see. You saying I got you. I got the screen open right now, so I'm gonna know if you really do got me. So I'll see. I will check. So I'll go a little longer, knowing that I'm in good company. Keith and Angie, you guys are keeping the coffee, going around and eating the danishes. We just having a Sunday brunch. Okay. Mallard Brook Condo, is that it? Mallard Brook Condo. I'm not. I say that. Target. I can listen to the replay. Absolutely. Are you Mallard Brook Condo though? Are you? Let me make sure I have the right person. Okay, great. So the target for today is $75. Angie dropped $5 on me. Angie, you can ask me any questions. You can ask me anything you want. I know you want to listen to the replay. That's fine. But thank you for coming through. Thank you for stopping and dropping that $5. I thank you for that. Appreciate it. And salute to you. Now, like I said, get two friends with money, and forget about their third friend. Just let them see what's going on, and let the third person, they could be broke or have money. I just want them to be curious about who I am. What's this goofy dude? What's he talking about? He talking about some atheism. He's talking about objectivism and Ayn Rand. I want that to happen. I'm gonna get to that point. No question there because I just got on. Okay, that's fine. You just got on. That's all right. Just long, you want to sit back and listen. That's cool. No worries. You are welcome here. You are certainly welcome, young lady. I think I'm saying young lady. I'm saying that out of respect. You might be a year older than me or something crazy, But I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm going. I might go. I'm not going to go 2 hours, but I might go, hour and a half, or hour and 15 minutes, something like that. It just feels real groovy right now. I feel really groovy. I don't have any notes or anything. Okay, you will have questions soon. Take your time. Take your time. As long as you got money, you got. If you can, if Mallard Brook condo comes up on the screen again, then I can answer your questions. That's when I can answer them. I have to be the same for everybody. Can't do it for, but anyway. But like I said, today you could ask any question you wanted because you put down dollars. Keith, on the other hand, didn't have that. But I still respect him for being within the room, being one of my people. How'd you find out about this particular show? This broadcast today? How did you know I was on? Did you have a notification, Angie? And same thing with you, Keith. Did you have a notification? Anybody have notifications today, or did you just go online? Absolutely, Keith. But did you go on? Did you have notifications? Did either of you two have notifications while they're deliberating? No, ruler of the kingdom of the air. Well, I'm subscribed and looked at who is on. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Let two people that subscribe as well, because I lost just one subscriber. I don't think I needed them. Whoever he or she was, they get antsy in their panties and they want to jump ship. That's fine with me. I keep mowing the grass. Still got a job to do. But ruler of the kingdom of the air. It's extraordinary. I love it. I love writing it. I love reading it. Like I said, Ralph Anthony Garcia of the United Ronin Networks got that finally. He has a work. He has a reading. Who wrote? No, I wrote the story. The story is, it's just a short story. Angie Cooper. Here, if you scroll up, wait a minute. I'll just put in the chat. Yeah, I actually wrote it. There's a link right there, but I also want you to listen to the audio. He has audio. It's called Ralph Reads. This is the audio version of the story itself. So you can listen to it and read along with it, or just listen to it, or just read it. If you read it, you help me out by getting more reads. So I'm just going to put this in the chat. I hope you enjoy it. He has an excellent speaking voice, better than mine. His resonates better than mine. So there you go. listen to it, chat about it. I think Keith just left the room, or maybe Angie, if you're still there. Somebody left. It's down to one person. Don't forget to like when you leave. It's all about the algorithms or algorithm. I don't know if it's plural or not. Singular. The ruler of the kingdom of the air. Delaware. Smart, capable black people. I want to see it. Like, it's the best thing that the best thing. I have a list. The best thing about or one of the best things about Toni Morrison, one of my favorite authors, she said, if there's not a book, or in this case a story, that you want to read, you must write it. It's imperative. It's like she's not even giving you like the option. You could write it. You could no, you have to. You have to put this down on digital paper or screen, something like that. It has to be seen, has to be read. And that's what happened with me. I wanted to see all of this in action, played out in real life. Truth. That's what I found it to be. Absolute truth. Not facts. Some of them are facts. There's some elements of fact in it, actually. Yeah. Hits kind of close to home as well. But very fortunate to have this platform to shill out my wares. Go on this large platform, this humongous, gigantic platform, YouTube, and it still has its mojo running because it's not TikTok, even though people saying, oh well, TikTok is going to overdo YouTube. I don't think so. They have more capabilities on YouTube. There's more traction. I think YouTube has its shorts that can contend with TikTok. There's ultimately channels, and there's different levels of how they function. But I'm so pleased with the fact that I have this option, this choice, to declare to you that ruler of the kingdom of the air is on audio. That is so cool. And it's like he has voice modulation to sound like females. He did his research. He knew, okay, this is a female talking. I gotta make sure I sound like them. I gotta come up to this point. Everything is crisp and clear. It's it's almost like in surround sound. It's great audio. You're very welcome, Angie Cooper. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. See, both of you are still in live. According to YouTube, it says 2 people in the viewership. So I'm saying, respect to. Oh, okay. Now we got 3 people. NYB Exchange. Salute to you, sir. Let me get NYB Exchange's DAP. Respect the target. The target was $80. Miss Angie Cooper brought it down to $75. And I'm happy as hell. I'm tickled. You don't have to do all 75. You can. I'm not going to stop you. But all I'm looking for is 5s and 10s and 20s. That's it. I'm not even going to ask for 50s. I'll go for 5, 10, 20. But I'm not looking for 1s either or 2s. They're still in circulation. I know they're rare, extremely rare. But I'm not looking for 1s and 2s. Yeah, she finally caught me live. And why, NYB? How you. Notification. Ask him if he, how he found out how I was live. Because there's 3 people in here now. It used to be 2. First it was 1. First it was 0. I have to stay here even longer. Just wait for people to come on to realize it is. And if you guys, want to form a network or form some kind of Facebook group, that'd be cool too. That'd be really cool if you had one, Facebook group for Skyler Saunders seeing. That'd be cool. All right, so one person dropped off. I see, allegedly, according to YouTube. Your channel is growing. I just got on YouTube and showed you live. Oh, cool, great. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you, because you probably wouldn't have seen me live if you weren't a subscriber. So thank you for your subscription. And tell 2 or 3 people, two people, but leave the third person guessing about this show. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Thank you for subscribing. You wouldn't have seen my face if you weren't a subscriber. So I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. But like I said, you don't have to put a whole $75 on it. Just put $5 on it, $10, $20, whatever you can do. The ladies got you. Both men so far got Keith and NYB. Now I see you say absolutely. I got my Cash App open right now. I'll see if you're really about that life. If you really if you're putting in the dollars, I will see it on the screen and I'll thank you for it. NYB Exchange. Thank you very much for even being here to see me. I appreciate that. So we're back to 3 again. I love how this works. It's weird, but it's wonderful, Okay, so it's a NYB Exchange says okay, so yeah, so like I said, you can the ladies outdoing the gentlemen so far. Ladies outdoing the gentlemen. Ruler of the kingdom of the air, I will press this and push this all the way to the day that they stop this challenge. And maybe even beyond. First place is $1,000. Second place is $500. Third place is you're fired. No. Again, that was Glenn Ross. Classic, seminal, monumental, not even classical, monumental film. Great film. It was like watching Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis and Ferraris in action. But anyway, so the third place is actually 50 runners up. So I don't want to be a 50 runners up. I want to be in line with the number 1 spot. I've never been number 1. I've been number 2 twice and number 3 one time. I don't want to be in there. I don't want to be close to them. I want to be number 1. So I'm putting in the work. I'm doing everything I can to get the weight up. Doing everything I can to understand, the mechanics of what they're looking for in a winner. I think I've tried that the best I can. I don't have any problems. I don't have any issues. Like I said, I'll put it back in the chat. Hold on. This is ruler of the kingdom of air. Audio. Just listen to it. Sit back, listen, or go to the page even. It's a long page. It's a long, way of doing. Oh, here. Okay. NYB is interested in the Cash App. I got you. Hold on one moment. Just 1 second. Bam. That's it. That's it. NYB Exchange. I think you actually have contributed earlier. I didn't make sure. Or maybe not. But you can always, start something new. You can start something new, sir. I appreciate it. Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air. I go over and over on it. Hopefully, I'm not completely repeating myself over and over, but I'm just giving you an outline, giving you an understanding of the themes, the understanding of the characters, understanding of the plot. My style, it's just bad. No, it's like, if I had to describe myself, it's very hard to pin down style, but the closest thing I can say is romantic magic realism. If I can even do that. If I can say romantic magic realism. Now I'm going to break that down. Romanticism is basically saying life as it is or it should be, or making it more interesting than it is. Magic realism, or is in a sense ideas that are grounded in truth but have some elements of myth or fantasy, or the supernatural or something of that nature. And when it comes to this story, it is all about mythology. It is all about discovering truth. It's all about making reality apparent, seeing if it is something that can be totally construed and totally thought of as something that is brought into existence, brought into reality, brought into a sense of understanding. Because that's what the main, for now, the main character is questioning whether he should be, on this quest at all, if he should be on this search for his son's well-being, his entire life, how he is able to contend with the world, and how he is able to grapple with it. That's what the whole gist of the story is. It's just chapter 1, and I may use up to chapter 2 and even more. I'm seeing what I can possibly do. If I can adapt it, if I can, try to change it into an entire novel, that would be fun. I think I have a good time with that. So I beseech you. I strongly suggest to you that you read it, that you listen to the audio, that you share it, that you share it, that you share it. Repetition is very important. Repetition is very important. No. But I appreciate everybody that has ever even come through this channel, because you don't have to. You don't have to. You could be doing anything. You could be doing anything right now, especially the people live right now. There's 3 of y'all, and I think all 3 are Keith, NYB Exchange, and I'm looking at her Angie Cooper. I was looking at her Cashapp. I didn't want to say her Cashapp again, but I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate everybody that has come through. All the money I've generated I just started doing this. I'll give you a short story, and then I'll get back to Rule of the Air. Prior to April 15th, 2023, my numbers were, and this is just simple. I'm not even going to get to analytics. Analytics is something serious. Prior to April 15th, 2023, my numbers, and this is from June 22nd, June 22nd, 2006. 2,000 or plus. It was hovering around 2,000. Up to this point, since April 15th, I've had 18,000 views. That is astronomical. You don't do that. That's not supposed to happen. So I appreciate everybody's input. If I had done it, if I started it, well, I couldn't have started it back in 2006. They didn't have this setup like this now. But if I had started this earlier, I may have even had more. But the analytics are great because it's not just about the number of subscribers and the number of people that have viewed your channel. It's about how you have certain people watching at night or in the morning or in the afternoon. You have your audience of gender, how many females are watching, how many males, the duration, the audience retention numbers. I mean, this is all included in YouTube's suite of different controls on its analytics page. I appreciate that. They usually pay, make you pay for stuff like that. There probably is a different, even more advanced way of doing it. But that's where we are right now. That's what I'm talking about. I really respect everyone that's come through. Oh, here we go. Transmission? Greg S. You're in the. You look like you're in the lower end. I still salute you because you're supposed to troll. Get your troll on. I know you're one of my trolls, so I appreciate it. Look, hey, it only says 3 people. Maybe it should be saying 4 people, but it just says 3 people on my side. Greg S, salute you. And another thing, Greg S, you've never given. Okay, maybe that was your I don't know what that was, but you've never given $1 to this show. That's a fact. You're riding the coattails. You're free loading. You're free riding on the backs of various individuals. Just to let you know that. So never mind my trans audience. Even if they were high, they're human beings. They have minds. Who cares if whatever they say they are right now? It's not my concern. I'm not concerned with that. So, waiting on that, idea, for somebody to say, we're going to, collaborate. We're going to do a Facebook group. That'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that. So, ruler of the kingdom of the air. Totally and completely my baby. My work. My, piece of the earth. It's it's like land. You're able to invest in it. You're able to help it grow. You're able to build upon it. Something special. MYB Exchange. If you're still in the building, if you're still on the deck, let me know, and we can chop it up some more. I appreciate all of y'all, everybody. All right, yes. So you still need my Cash App? What's up? What's going on? Let me know. Let me know what's going on. Cause I'm about to shut it down. Get in where you fit in. I'm about to shut it down soon. Do what you got to do. Take some time. Weigh it out. Cash it up. You backing up to work? Okay, he's saying he's fumbling with the Cash App. I'm believing you. I'm only believing you because you seem like an upstanding, genuine dude. I'm believing you. I'm taking your word. I'm taking your word. I have your word. That's all we got. I can't see you actually fumbling with it. Cash App is pretty straightforward. I don't know how you fumble with it, sir, but take your time. Take your time with it. Do what you gotta do. I respect you, sir. I respect you. A lot of people, are wondering if if this if this whole setup is not going to be sustainable. I think it's going to be sustainable. It's going to keep me going forever. Like Mr. Troy Star Terrain, he's been on the radio in some way, form, or fashion for over 20 years, 21 years exactly, on terrestrial radio. Then he took some other jobs, which is almost 2 minutes to number. He went to Pulse 87, then he went to 100.3 to Beat, then he went to Hood Promo Radio. Now he's on YouTube. He's been here since 2012, and he's loving it. It's a beautiful platform. It's great. This is the greatest thing going. He said to him about it that it's like community access TV, but magnified by like a million, or a billion, magnified by a great number. That's what it is. I turn on a camera, put on lights, and run my mouth, and people pay me to do that. When in the world did anybody consider that to be something that could be possible? Yes, okay. NYB Exchange says yes. His show on Larry Elder was cool. Did you get the Cashapp straightened out yet, sir? I'm telling you, I'm all about the ducats. I'm all about the money. I need enough money. Hey, like I said, the lady of the house, she outshined both, Keith and NYB Exchange so far. I'm looking at his ring right now. Hold on. I'm not going to give an opinion, but I'm going to show you how weird that you said that. Hold on. Can you see this? Can you see that? It's kind of out of focus. But this is a stallback ring. This is a stallback ring that I gave to my father. My sister and I gave to my father for Mother's Day, actually, because he's both our father and our mother. He raised us for most of our childhood. No, actually, I have pants on today. I can prove it. Look, I have gray slacks on. You're lucky because sometimes I have shorts on, to be honest. Like Dame Dash. Dame Dash does that. He wears a white shirt, a tie, and CEO shorts. I don't have the CEO shorts though. You put some money on that, Keith, and I'll answer your question. But I had to show you the ring because that was funny how you said that. Being in the Cowboys room, of course, we have memorabilia about everybody, but especially Mr. Staubach. But I'm not going to give you the answer to that question until you put $5 or $10 on it. Then I'll be happy to do it. Okay. Big boys in the room. He's not kidding. You got questions, I got answers. No, I'm not. This is my. I see what you're doing, Keith. You're saying like a statement, so you're saying it like it's a statement. So you're saying that's like I won't answer the question, but I will say that I am not a Cowboys fanatic. I am a supporter. My dad is the fanatic. I'm not answering your question. I'm just stating a fact. And salute to NYB Exchange, aka, if I could say your name, Ronald Cuffey. Ronald Cuffey, NYB Exchange, sent a great $10. Now you can ask me any question. Target for today, $65. Pow. See? Just keep chipping away at it. I don't care. I got time. I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about nothing. It's factual. I'm telling the truth. So, NYB Exchange has free reign over any question he wants to ask me. Anything. I think the lady of the house, I keep on wanting to say her Cashapp name, Angie Cooper. Angie appears to have left the room. She has, better things to do, I guess. I mean, listen to me running my mouth. Okay, let's go. Let's go about the Ayn Rand philosophy. Let's go, NYB Exchange. Let's go. We can go right into this. Glorilla voice, let's go. Ask away. Anything you want to know, NYB Exchange or Ronald Cuffey. Anything you want to know, I got you. I can definitely lay it down. Okay, you heard about her in the early 80s. That's when she her death was. She died March 6, 1982. What do you want to know? Hold on, I'll be right back. Ask away. Ask any question. I'm back. Okay, Greg S is saying some stuff. Wow. Greg S trolling along. You can free ride and freeload on the way. Why is her philosophy unique? So unique. Very good question. Because it's true. Because it is the first philosophy to be fully integrated. You understand? Fully integrated into the truth. There are other philosophies that are valid, that are fragmented, but this is the first one to be codified and unified into a complete whole. Objectivism allows people to understand the world out there through reason, individualism, and capitalism. Those are the three main pillars of what objectivism stands for. Does that properly answer your question? And keep on trolling, Greg S. You're a freeloader. You're a free rider. I would answer all your questions. If you were definitely continuing to troll, you can troll all you want. I'm not going to stop you from trolling. Keep trolling, but if you want to answer a question answered, the only way I'll answer the question is if you put up $5, $10, $20. Okay, Keith is back. Keith is definitely laughing and crying and something else. Okay, you're a refugee from where, Greg S? Allegedly. a refugee. What are you, a Tom Petty song or something? You don't have to live like a refugee. Well, I'm not completely well versed with Robert Ringer NYB Exchange, but it's not necessarily looking out for number one. That's too easy and too, you know, tradition, our new age kind of way of saying things. Her idea is saying, I'm an individual and I will only be an individual and I will respect the rights of others in a civilized society. That's what her philosophy mainly is about. It is about the self, it's about being selfish, what true selfishness means, about being rational. That's what it is. Rational self-interest. That's selfishness. Not trampling over other people, not trying to get your way, not trying to be number one, in the sense of trying to the best somebody. What book would I recommend first? Well, I have to ask you a question, and I will definitely answer this question, but which one would you say, fiction or nonfiction? Or both? Okay, so you just answered. I did not read Atlas Shrugged first. The first book I ever read of Ayn Rand's was Anthem. And then it was, well, actually, that was the first fiction book. The first nonfiction book I ever read was The Virtue of Selfishness. That was the first book I ever read, period. Because it had a sexy title. It was very provocative. I said, wait a minute. It just caught my brain off, kilter. It said the virtue. And from what I understand, virtue, I was like, virtue is good, is righteous, is right, is okay. And it said selfishness. I said, oh no, selfishness means mean and miserly and disgusting and rude and only grabbing and looking out for oneself only, or for to be number one or to beat others. You own Atlas Shrugged, or you never really fully read it? Which one is it? Which one you own? Which one? My Ronald, if I may call you, may I call you Mr. Cuffy or Ronald? Okay, you own them both. Okay, yeah. Atlas Shrugged is definitely the monument. Okay, Malik. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Salute to Malik. Okay, salute to Malik. All right, good to go. Atlas Shrugged was the monument for me. I read Anthem. I read yeah, I'm just talking about the fiction because it's really simple to talk about the fiction. Malik means king. That's true. Yep, Malik. Um, that's Memphis Bleak's real name. I think his real name is Malik. I think. Um, but with the fiction, like I said, I read Anthem. Then I read The Fountainhead. Then I read We the Living, and then I finally read Atlas Shrugged. And I was immersed in all of them, especially The Fountainhead. I'm reading that again right now. The Fountainhead is the one that hit me, but I think Atlas Shrugged was the one that was most comprehensive because it breaks down the philosophy. It includes all sorts of different. It incorporates. Yes, it's a very thick book. It's over 1,000 pages. Yeah, but it's well worth the read because it just peels away. You're just immersed in the story and captivated by the spectacle. But it includes action, mystery, romance, philosophy. Has so many different things working in toward for it that it becomes something that is very special and experience to understand and to realize. It's a wonderful read. It's beautiful. I think it is my favorite fiction book. Second would be, of course, Fountainhead, then Anthem, then We the Living, because We the Living is beautifully written, but I can't read all of it because, or I can't. I can read all of it, but it just is a trying thing to me because of my depression and my that's involved with my bipolar disorder. It's a harrowing tale, but it's wonderfully written, wonderfully sculpted, wonderfully made. It's a great book to read. Definitely recommend anybody to read it, especially you, Malik. I appreciate it. I wish you had told me your name earlier. I didn't know. I was saying NYB Exchange the whole time, and then I saw your name on the Cashapp, and I was like, okay, this got a name, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Malik. And ask away. It's your world. You put down the most money of the day. It's your world. So I'm gonna go for the longest time I've been on here for 2 hours. Ah, okay. Mind your business exchange. Okay. Are you into stocks and take care of your business? Okay. Are you into stocks or anything, or real estate or anything of that nature? Exchanges. And here's a funny fact or a key point. They used to print "mind your own business" on coins until the 50s when they took it out and put "In God We Trust." It used to read "mind your own business." Oh, you're an I think you told me that. That's my fault. I think I heard you say, is an educator and you're an educator in autism. Yeah, I think you did say that because I think I had a story on teachers and people like that, and you were saying something like that. Okay, good to go. Ask away. I got 15% on my MacBook, and we got about 18 minutes left, or 17 minutes less or less left for a 2 hour show. It's okay. I admire you because you like to read and write. Yeah, that's what it is. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. And I think we should admire everybody. I think there's still millions, and this is not. There may be even a billion, but I'm sure there are millions of illiterate people who just don't know how to read. They live their whole lives not knowing how to read, not knowing the joy of reading and the wonder of writing. They never understand. They use different language. They use symbols and just talking and things like that nature. And it's like, how do you go? I don't know how somebody like my stepmom's father. He never learned a day and to read in his life. Never, not once. Never learned a day. He spent his whole life. I think he died maybe in the 60s or 70s, maybe 80s, and he spent his whole life illiterate. That's just one thing. It's like people are obviously going to say, "Oh, well, you have to get a job and do this." He did manual labor, I'm sure. He probably didn't do anything at a desk, I'm sure, but he was able to communicate with people, obviously through speech and everything like that, but not through the written word or not, understanding what the written word was. So it's very sad in a certain sense, but I think we're getting better. I think because of capitalism, it has risen people out of poverty, which means people out of poverty have time to send their kids to schools to learn how to read, and they then make more money and they bring it back into the household, and that creates more money. Like it just makes better and better and better for them to read and write and know how to do figures and mathematics and know about science and why the sun is hot and how many galaxies there are around the universe and things of that nature. It's a beautiful thing when you learn how to read. It really is. And to be honest, I wasn't about reading. I was all about writing. I was writing poems to girls in elementary school, and I thought that was the kick. I thought that was it. I thought, yeah, that's all I had to do. I was like, okay, I could read. I guess I could read. But then I got to, middle school and high school, and I started to read some more. I've been able to read more, but I still was like, man, I can write. Let me do this. I can get this essay on. I don't need to write. I don't need to do that. I mean, I don't need to read. I can just write. That's all I gotta do. Exactly. I think it's a rite of passage for guys that are straight. I think you understand when you're straight and you're younger too, because I had an affinity for girls. I was like, dang, they look good. They smell better. They have a higher voice than I do. What's going on with these people? They got long hair, and so I used to give notes to this one girl, see if she would like me or anything like that. That's what I used to do, and I think a few people have done that. Patrice O'Neill, the late great Patrice O'Neill, he would write, poems like Tupac with the like "I love you" with the I, drawn on, and then say "I love you" or like a heart or something like that. So I just think it's a rite of passage. I think for 5 and 6 and 7 year olds to do, Well, hey Malik, do it. Be a journalist, and look, time is ticking. Just do it. Nike, Goddess of Victory. Goddess. If you tuned in earlier to my show, I was talking about the Greek and Roman gods, and I was talking about the Roman goddess Victoria and the Greek goddess Nike, or the Goddess of Victory. People would worship her and bow down to her and say things to her that would be to benefit them in races and other competitions and things like that. And then she becomes part of a sports brand, a multi-billion-dollar American apparel and sneaker brand. But people worshipped her. Same thing can happen with Jesus. I say we can do the same thing with Jesus if we put him on a craft, an aircraft, a spacecraft that was destined to go into the future. If we were able to get the technology, I don't know if it's dark energy or some kind of dark matter or something to propel us into the future, it should be called Jesus One. I wrote about that 17 years ago or 16 years ago. So that's just my take. If you want to ask more questions, we can go. I'm allowing you full and free reign. You've been conquering the chat room so far, Malik. Yeah. That's the idea that I had, because I mean, there's no going back. Can't go back in time. As many movies and TV shows and books have outlined the idea of returning back to some time or something else, just consider a few things. Just like cremation. Can you undo that? Can you go back in time for cremation? Come on. There's wormholes and other, things within, quantum mechanics and quantum physics and stuff like that. But it's not really based in facts and in reality. But you can, if we had, in theory, there's no theory for the past, but there's theory for the future. To go into the future, you can do it. We just don't have the means for it yet. But there is a possibility for us to go into the future. We just haven't discovered all the tools that would prepare us for such an adventure. But you just keep asking questions. We got 11 minutes. I'm going to make it a 2-hour show. This is the longest I've ever gone. 2 hours. And I think I had about 8 people that have come into the room. But Malik, it's your world. It's your world, Malik. Ask all the questions you want to ask now. Because I'm going to have to hit you up for the next broadcast. It starts all over again. I don't say like, oh, he gave me enough money this time. Let me give him some questions. $5 and $10. You dropped it on me. So it's up to you, Malik. It's all your world. Wow. I first communicated with Troy Star Terrain in 2006. And I enjoyed talking to him. I enjoyed conversing with him. I enjoyed it. It was all emails. It was all email because it was all business. It was all about okay, when is your book coming out and when is it, everything. It was right after he got off of the station I listened to was Power 99 FM, banging hip hop and R&B, Philly. Oh wow, since Hot 97. Okay, so I haven't been that far back, but no, it was when he was on Power 105.3. Was it 105.3? Well, but Power 105. Okay, so after he got booted, after the the whole conundrum. Okay, even Source Magazine. Okay, but no, I've been talking to him on emails, for a little while, and then on I listened to Pulse 87, but he wasn't there. He's getting his liver. Then I listened to him on. I listened to him on. What was it? What's it called? I'm drawing a blank here. My brain is not functioning properly. It was what was the show? He was okay. I even have a cassette tape recording of him since the DJ Envy. Oh, okay, so that definitely goes back. What is it? Shovio, that's it. Okay, applaud my slow brain. Shovio, that's when I started to get really intense with talking to him because I used to give different commentary or comments just like here in the comment section while he did a live show. Then he went to what was in Philly, 100.3 The Beat, and while I was in Philly, I used to give out tweets, and he would read them on the air. And then got to a Hood Promo radio in 2011, 2012. And then by the time I got to 2012, I linked up. I started talking to him on YouTube. And then we got to the point where he was on the show and he asked for a donation of at least I think $1,000 for the Hate-a-thon in 2014, and so I sent that in, and he was like, "Whoa, who's this guy? Who's this Skyler guy? Oh, okay, Skyler Saunders. All right." And I was like, it just went on from there, and I just every year since 2014, I've donated $1,000 and a few dollars here and there, back and forth. Yeah. That's how serious it is. If you want to ever donate $1,000, I'm not gonna stop you either, Malik. But yeah, every year, and I'm including this year coming up, expected anyway. But that's what it was, And now I was able to, he gave me his phone number and his direct line on his phone. We chop it up sometimes about business. Sometimes it's bullshit. But it's all in fun. It's all in business. It's great. That's the story between Troy Star Train and myself. Okay, top it all you want. You can top it all you want, sir. I think we're the only ones here. I think we are. According to YouTube, there's only one person in the room, and I think that's you, Malik. So, and we got about less than 5 minutes left. Yeah, everybody's saying, "Oh, he's a hater. He's evil. He's terrible." Guy's totally professional, cool. I never had any problems with him. He has problem with me because I said one time I was like, "Hold on one second." He's like, "Okay, you're on hold. You're a supporter, but you're on hold. You're a donor. You're a sponsor, but you're on hold now." So that was my brief scolding, but he called me, let me know, everything was cool, everything was all right. See, that's just the classy guy he is. And a lot of people don't really realize how classy the guy really is. So appreciate that from him. And I just got so much knowledge and wisdom. He introduced me. He brought me to the dance of Ayn Rand. Like, I think that was part of his plan to play Rush in the morning, to talk about Ayn Rand from time to time. Why 5%?